The 5 luxury buying habits that I will never do. So let's go ahead and talk about it.
We didn't have the money and we were like, let's just do this anyway. Or how about this other couple who diverted their retirement savings into a bucket list fund, which has been used to try fancy restaurant tasting menus and buy a dream designer handbag? So what on earth is happening?
Anyway, if you guys are new to my channel, my name is Sigrid. You may call me Ziggy. I talk about luxury handbags, real estate, travel, finance, and minimalism on this channel. So please do like and subscribe to my channel. All right, so let's get into it, you guys. So the first one is buying the things that you don't necessarily need. Not because, you wanted luxury, that everything else needs to be luxury, and that you're going to buy things that you don't need just for the sake of having it, right? So that's one big mistake, because a lot of people who are also buying luxury buy things that they don't necessarily need. It's basically just an impulse buy, or when they go and, for example, go to Chanel and they see this really brand new handbag that they don't think they need, all of a sudden, you're buying it just because it looks nice, it looks fancy, and it's luxury. So there are people like that, and I think that I would stay away from things that you don't necessarily need. So that's one, right? And let's go to topic number 2. Buying handbags just because your favorite influencer has one too. So we are in this society right now where social media is just basically dictating really what we need to buy and what we should buy, right? Because when you look at all of the influencers, they have all of these really nice, fancy things from Hermes, Chanel, everything, right? Notion to like, hey, I need to have those handbags too. And even though it doesn't also, fit your lifestyle just because your favorite influencer has it, and just because it's so very rampant in social media, now you are wanting to buy it. But then it doesn't really work out for you, right? So I would steer away from that, right? I would steer away from being influenced by influencers, buying luxury handbags that you don't necessarily need in your life, you don't necessarily have a purpose for, or you don't necessarily need or want, but just because your favorite influencer has one too. So that's number 2. So now let's go to number 3. Buying the things you don't like just to impress other people. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about this, you guys. There are a lot of people there that buy things just to impress other people, and we should not do this. And this does not only apply obviously to just handbags as well, but also in reality, for example, cars. Because a lot of people, they would buy, to the extent also of being, in financial distress, they would buy a very, very expensive car that they cannot pay and afford to, just so that they can impress their neighbors, just so that they can impress the people around them, their family, their relatives, their friends, what have you. But if you really think about it, you guys, you know what? You are not really impressing them. The only person that is impressed by what you have is yourself. And also, the only thing also is that when you think that people are looking at your nice car and they're gonna say like, oh, you know what, you have a very, very nice car. What really happens is that they are not looking at you, so to speak, but they are envisioning themselves to be in your shoes as the driver of the car. And that applies to the handbags too as well. You are envisioning yourself to be the one carrying the Birkin, to be the one carrying the Constance, to be the one carrying the Picotin or the Chanel classic flap bag, right? So you are envisioning yourself really the one who's actually driving the car and, using all of these things, rather than that person actually admiring you. So there's a two huge big difference between both of those, you guys. And you know what, I don't know if I've mentioned this in my channel, but I love the author of The Psychology of Money, Morgan Housel. So he talks about all of these stuff, you guys, that when you think that you are impressing other people, and like, you're really not. They admire what you have because they want to put themselves in your shoes, and they're not really looking at you, so to speak, but they are looking at the stuff that you have because they want to have the stuff that you have, if that makes sense. Anyway, check out that book, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. And it's just one of my favorite books, you guys. And it's just so eye-opening that you guys need to just take a look at it. It talks about so much about your financial well-being, financial health, and also, how you should be dealing with money, so to speak, in your lifetime. So it's actually a good book. So I would recommend that. Anyway, all right. So back to number 4 of the 5 luxury habits that are keeping you broke and poor, and therefore, you would never do it, is buying luxury handbags in the hope of making a profit, because it's harder than you think. All right. So anyway, okay, so let's talk about the people that are buying Hermes Birkins, for example, right? Because they say that it's an investment, or even a Chanel Classic flap. They say now that it's an investment because of the price increases that these handbags have. So every year, we all know that there are price increases between 5% to 10% for Chanel bags, and also for the Hermes Birkins, Kellys, and Constances, what have you, all of the luxury stuff, right? So if you are buying these things just for the intention of reselling them, it is harder than you think, you guys. It is harder than you think, because not a lot of people actually can afford these things, and not a lot of people are going to the secondary marketplace to buy it, because the reality is, if it was me, I'd rather buy it from the store directly if I can, right? There are people that are like me who has that mentality of buying the things in the store straight up, rather than having a second-hand handbag, right? That's just a reality. Also, people who are environmentally friendly and would rather go to the secondary marketplace and buy their handbags there, rather than buying it from the store directly, of which, if you are buying a Birkin anyway, it's so hard to get from the store. So what's the point, right? And if you don't want the playing the Hermes game, so to speak, then I would suggest go to the secondary marketplace. However, again, let's go back to that topic, right? It is not easy to go ahead, sell these very, very expensive items. So if you are banking on that, I would say don't even do it. Just don't. Let's talk about number 5 that I would never do. Buying a luxury handbag because that is the trend. Trends do not last, and you will regret it. So there's buying the trends, you guys, right? So there's a lot of handbags that are like this, right? They are just very trendy, and at the moment they are like the it bags, that type of thing, and that everybody must have it. And so everybody just start clamoring on it, or you're gonna start seeing them in social media, in Instagram, and all of the influencers all of a sudden are wearing the same handbags, and everybody is just propping it up and saying like, hey, you know what, this is the it bag, this is the cool bag for the year, and everything and all that stuff. I would steer away from buying it bags, because honestly, you know what, it fades. People just, if they're the trend right now, next year wouldn't be the trend anymore. The following year wouldn't be a trend anymore. And then everybody forgets about it. And then you're stuck with a bag that is just a trendy handbag. And, that's just it, right? So, it makes you broke and poor. Because why are you buying trendy handbags that won't last you a lifetime? To me, I love buying handbags that I know would last me a lifetime, right? So, like for example, my Chanel Classic handbag, that bag will stay with me forever, and I'm not going to sell it at all. At all, even my Constance, at all. These are handbags that will last me a long, long time, and it will have the cost per wear that I expect them to have. Those are the 5 luxury buying habits that are keeping you broke and poor, and I would never do. So anyway, you guys, let me know down in your comments below, what are things that you would never do? And so share them if there's anything that you would never do. And also share down in your comments below if you agree with any of these 5 points that I'm talking about today. Again, you guys, my name is Sigrid. You might call me Ziggy. I talk about luxury handbags, real estate, travel, finance, and minimalism in this channel. Thanks everybody for watching. And until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.